bottles of water today from the Maelstrom of War missions, and it's the brand new Death Guard Codex is going to get its debut, and the Orks are going to take on these heretics. We're playing a spearhead assault deployment, so it's like Hammer and Anvil, but it's more of an arrowhead. And we've got the 6 objectives down already, and we're using a brand new map today. It's from Deep Cut Studio. It's called Badlands. Just got this through the other day, and it is really good. Really loving this red wasteland theme. We're even so inspired, made some new terrain to go on it straight away. So we're going to give this a go today. It looks very orky, and we're ready to go to war. Okay, so the objectives, we've got one here, one here. The Orks will be on this side, so already they've got 2. 2 in the centre, just off towards that edge a little bit, and then 2 for the Death Guard in this area here. Right, here's 2,000 points of Death Guard. We're using the Codex for the first time. There's going to be a lot to remember. Hopefully I can remember it all. And it's the week before Typhus comes out, so we'll still be proxying Golgoth as Typhus. It's not a far cry from the proper Typhus model. It's just armed with that lovely axe there. So we've got a battalion detachment, and it's a pretty big one. We've tried to get in as much as we can to face these Orks down. So we've got 2 HQs in front here. We've got Typhus. He's got these psychic powers. Gives a contagion and putrescent vitality. Always tested on names of stuff for Games Workshop. We've got a Malefic Plaguecaster. He's got blades of putrefaction and plague wind. And we've got another HQ here. So this one is different to what we usually had. So the Demon Prince, he's now got disgustingly resilient, so don't need to get him from the demon side of the Codex anymore. So he's pretty good now. He's lost his Warp Bolter, but I'm okay with that. He's got Miasma of Pestilence for his psychic power, and for his special thing with the Codex, you can give him 2+ armor save and a mortal wound if you hit him in combat, and he rolls a 4, so you can attack you back if you hit him. So really want that for the 2+ armor save for a Demon Prince. It's very, very helpful. So for the troops, we've got quite a lot. We've got 2 units of Poxwalkers, 2 units of 16. We've got 2 units of Plague Marines, 1 unit of 5, 1 unit of 7. Just got this unit done. This has got the 2 Plague, the Blight Launchers, that's what they're called. And the champion, he's got a Power Fist, he's got Plague Sword, and he's even got a Plasma Gun on his back. So it's pretty kitted out, that guy. And this is the 7-man squad from the Dark Imperium box. So Plasma Gun, Power Fist, Plague Sword on the champion. And then we've got 2 vehicles. So we've got a Rhino for this squad with a Plasma Gun on it. And then brand new addition is the Land Raider. I do love Land Raiders, so there's one. It's got a Havoc Launcher on the top. And we've got another unit of troops here, just a Cultist squad, just to fill out the points a bit. And we've got the Bloat Drone, as you see with the Plague Spitters. So we haven't got all of our stuff done for Death Guard just yet, so we've had to fill out the points from somewhere. So we've got the Vengeance Weapon Battery as a separate attachment. So it's very handy that we've got that in this game. And we have got points aside here for Demon Summoning. So we've got a Herald to summon, and we've got a unit of Plague Bearers to summon as well. So they're in the bank, so to speak, in the horrible back pocket of Nurgle.
Right, here we have 2,000 points of Orks, said by this geezer here. He's called the Poorly Ork, blown apart.
Terrible.
Some Umi told him about Napoleon, and he's got this fixation with columns, attack columns, and he's got all his Orks organised as such. There you go. Whether they'll keep this formation or not is highly debatable. I've got 2 battalion detachments. This one here has 30 Orks with sluggers and a Nob with a power claw. This one has 20 shooter boys, Nob with a power claw. So that's 10 shooter boys with a Nob. And Grotsnake, Mad Dog Grotsnake is leading that one. And Ork on a mech on a bike, and he has a custom force field. He doesn't have a kill saw, by the way.
It's broken.
yeah, it's not functioning today. The other detachment has 30 Orks in there with sluggers and choppers, not with the power claw. And then we have 20 with choppers and sluggers and a knob with a power claw. And we have 10 with shooters with a knob. And oh, here's a buggy there. It's going to sneak on and claim a decisive victory point objective. And then we've got big guy himself, Poly Ork, and he's got a custom shooter. It's a combi Scorcher, and he's got power claw and attack squig. And behind them there's a Waaagh banner. It doesn't have a power claw, it's not allowed. Pain boy, weird boy. Pain boy's got a little orderly assistant. Right, so he's got smite and dad jump.
Okay. And then one more detachment.
Yeah, I've got fly wing over here. 3 data jets.
Kit out with all the big shooters.
Yeah, 6 super shooters. Super shooters.
Okay, we've done deployment now, so the Death Guard, they get to set up a unit first. So this is how it's all turned out in the end. And the Death Guard end up deploying, putting down the last unit as well, so we should be getting the first turn hopefully. So we've got the unit, 7-man unit in the Land Raider for the Plague Marines, 5-man unit in the Rhino. Then we've got 2 units of Poxwalkers, and we've left room for the characters to slot in where they need to. So we've got Typhus here, Noxious Blightbringer there, there's the Demon Prince in the centre, and the Bloat Drone looking after those cultists. So the Orks, straight out of the artwork, just piled up, posseed up. There's just all the squads are in here, but I'll just point out the characters. We've got the Custom Force Field on a bike here. Got Mad Doc Grotznick behind. There's the Waaagh banner guy there. Pain Boy here. Weird Boy there. Orks everywhere, just like out of the movie scenes. And then we've got the data jets. They're flying on from the corner here in perfect precision. Who knew the Orks were capable of that? Right, we're in the Death Guard movement phase, so the Orks chose not to steal the initiative. Probably because they want to see where the Death Guard are going to go before they commit. Well, we all know the Orks are just going to come charging straight down the middle, but that's what they've done anyway.
They just like being in a huddle, keeping warm.
So the Death Guard, the cards that were pulled for the objectives dictate this. So we're going to need to stay here, and then we'll get that at the end of the Orks' turn to defend that one. And we'll be able to score objective 3 over where Typhus is over there. We needed to defend objective 5 right up here, but luckily that's a defend objective, which the Orks cannot steal, because it's not a secure card, it's a defend one. So came up trumps there. We should come away with a few points at the end of this battle round. And we're not moving that much. We've had the Bloat Drone come over here to stay out of line of sight to the flyers. Cultists in pursuit as well. And we're going to go on to summoning. We'll definitely want to get our demons in before it's too late. It feels like it's a bit too early, but when the Orks start to charge forward, the room for summoning the demons in the battle might go. The window of deployment might just close on us. So what we're going to do, we're going to have the Noxious Blightbringer. He has not moved, so we're going to try and get the Plague Bearers in, and we're going to use 3 dice to do it on these special new Plague Marine dice. So we've rolled, you might not be able to tell, but those are 2s. So it's 4, 5. To double, he's going to take a mortal wound, but we are going to be able to get our 20-man Plague Bearer squad in. So because he's going to take a wound, we're going to do Disgustingly Resilient, try and get that back. We do on a 5. he's uninjured. Excellent. Alright, so they're the plague bearers. They've manifested just next to that tower. And we're going to do another summoning with Typhus. He did not move. And he's going to try and summon a herald in. Going to need a 4. Going to use 2 dice. We'll get that. No doubles, so no wounds for him. Okay, so the herald's gone down right there next to the squad. He's going to give them +1 strength because he's in proximity of them. We're going to give him the psychic power for fleshy abundance as well. It's one of my favourite ones. And we've just done psychic powers now. So Typhus, he has done +1 strength and toughness on this unit of Poxwaters, and given his aura, those Poxwaters are now at toughness 5, I believe. Well, they've got +2 toughness. That's the end result. The Demon Prince, he casts Miasma of Pestilence on this unit of Poxwaters, so they're now -1 to hit. So just trying to protect our soft targets at the moment. And there's not going to be a lot of shooting. It's just going to be las cannons from the Land Raider and las cannons from the anti-air unit at the flyers, I think, and a sly heavy bolter at some orcs. Right, we're going into the shooting phase here. We've already done some firing with the Land Raider. We've dedicated all of its guns. We've had the heavy bolter and havoc launcher at the lead unit of orcs, able to kill 4. They've got a custom force field, which was saving a few. But now we've got the las cannons at the lead flyer over in the corner there. We can see its wings. It will get a cover save. So we're hitting on 4s with the las cannons, and we'll get 2 hits, 3s to wound. We'll get 1, and I don't dare use a command point at this stage because I don't know where it's all going to land. So 1 wound there, and the orcs, it would normally carve through the armour, but because they've got the armour save because of the tower, they can try and save that in a 6.
Oh.
So can orcs? Nope. Right, here we go, d6 damage. Just 2. Okay, we'll just be happy with that, I think.
Ussens will take that all day.
Yep, so it's still got to take some damage from this. We've got the fire at it. It hits on a 5, but you get a +1 for hitting aerial targets, but then it's a -1. It's hard to hit. So we're right back to where we started on 5s. It's got a really long range, this las cannon. Over into the very other corner of the board. When you get 1 hit, we do not get a wound. Right, so the orc flyer gets away with it. Only 2 wounds, and that is the end of the shooting phase. Everything else is out of range.
Them blood boys can't shoot.
Right, so quite a quiet round there for shooting for the Death Guard, but we did get secure objective 3 where Typhus is. So 1 point there, and we're going to throw away defend objective 5, which is right at the board. Right, so the orcs are on the move now in turn 2. The flyers have swooped over here from the corner. They're going to try and get shots on the bloat drone, and they need this objective. So what's happened is these orcs have tried to run all the way over here. They did roll a 6, but they're still not within range. All the rest of the orcs flood the area, and at the back there, more orcs with the pain boy, custom force field slap bang in the middle. They're now making their way over to the Death Guard. But what we're going to do is dad jump. Because they didn't get this objective with this squad, the weird boy's going to do dad jump with the 10-man shooter squad right over there to try and get here and score this objective. It's a clever tactic for an orc.
No.
And but he's surrounded by about 40 boys, so he's going to get a +4 to his psychic test here. He needs to pass this on a 7, and then with a +4. So that is 10 in total. So no perils. And it does come off. Let's see if we can deny that with the Demon Prince. See if we can get a 10 or higher. Oh, we need a higher than 10. No, it's a 5. So that goes off. So that jump, they're going to come and land here. So the Orc squad arrives right on the objective. So that is good play from the weird boy. The reason why it's so crucial because it's a secure objective marker. And if one of the units from the Death Guard just came in here, that would have stolen that objective from them. So Orcs not having it. Claiming the territory. So the Orcs are going to open up with the shooting now. So the last flyer here is going to open up with all super shooters at the bloat drone. So 18 shots, hitting on 4s because all of the shooters going its way.
That looks nice.
And that is very impressive for an Orc. Right, that's 12 hits, so wounding on 5s, because it's only strength 6. Well, we'll say only, but it's still pretty good. Here we go. That's 3. And we can save this on armor save of 3, but it's a -1, so save on 4s. And 2 go through, it's only damage 1, so we get out disgustingly resilient. And we'll make 1 fail 1, so just 1 wound came off pretty lucky there. The Orcs rolled very well. So another round, well, 2 more rounds of that. Flyer number 2, another 18 shots. Hitting on 4s again. Not quite as impressive as the last time, only 4 hits, 5s to wound. Nothing. Alright, flyer number 3, come on down. 4s again. That's better than the last time, but not as good as the first time. That looks like, what is that, 6? 7. Right, so 5s to wound. 6. Okay, 5s to wound. Just the 1 under there. Right, saving on a 4 again. We get it. Wow, tough as nails.
Gah! Gah! Gah!
Right, we thought we were in for a lot of guns. Not as loud as these ones, but still pretty loud. All of these shooter attacks. But because the Plague Bearers are 20 strong, you've got a -1 to hit them, and we played Miasma of Pestilence in our psychic phase on those, giving them a -1. And since all of the Orks ran, they can't actually hit them, even though they've got assault weapons. So we're expecting a lot of fire there, but it turned out it wasn't a lot, not even a squeak. But this unit did arrive, hitting on 6s, but they still killed 3 cultists. So they're going to have to take a morale check. So the only leadership 6, so 1 + 3, we are fine. We'll hold and not lose any more cultists. So that's the end of the Orc turn. For the Death Guard, we will actually score defend objective 2, which is here. So we'll actually score points in the Orcs turn, should we say. So Death Guard up to 3 points now, and the Orcs will claim this objective. And it's just that objective, in fact. So no other points for the Orcs, just that one. So it's 3-1 to the Death Guard so far. It was a pretty good, fruitful turn for the Death Guard, but the tide closes in, and we haven't got a lot of guns to sort all these Orcs out. Right, so we've done the moving phase and we're halfway in the psychic phase, so we'll just show what's going on here. So out of the Rhino comes this Death Guard unit, and then the Rhino moves on. We're going to try and pick up first blood somewhere. We'll try and take out a weak unit of boys. Cultists go up the top. They can't shoot, they did advance. This unit gets out of the Land Raider. They're going to try and shoot down the channel there. And the Demon Prince, he moves on, as does the Plague Bearers. Going to try and just take it to the Orcs a little bit, try and take the wind out of them, try and get those early charges off. And Typhus and the Poxwalkers and the Noxious Blight bring a wheel round to the right, just claiming that objective. We're going to need to hold that at the end of the Orcs turn as well, and we'll get 2 points for that if we can. And this Blood Drone from over here moves over here. We're just going to have to get into the belly of the beast, so you just try and take them on, because they'll charge us if we don't charge them. So we've done some static powers, and it's important because we have got Master the Warp for an objective card, so we've already actually achieved it. What we did was Fleshy Abundance from the Herald healed a wound on this, because it is a Nurgle Demon, so he healed the wound that he had on him. The Demon Prince does Miasma of Pestilence on himself. We'll have to use a command point to pass that. And this Sorcerer has smote an Orc boy from over there. So that's 3 passes for the psychic test so far, so we'll get D3 victory points for that. So we're getting 2, so we're happy with that. We'll leave it as 2. And we still haven't finished the psychic phase yet. What we shall do next is Plague Wind from the Sorcerer onto this big unit, because we can see him through the gap there. So we'll need to pass this on a 5, and we'll get it off on a 10. So what it means is you roll a dice for each member of that unit, and there's 30 in that unit. Every 6 is a mortal wound. And so here we go, there's 30 boys in that unit, so there he is, cast some Plague Wind out of his hand right in the middle of those the tractor and the flyer thing, the blow drone. So here we go, 30 dice, any 6s or mortal wounds. So there's a few 6s in there. I can see 4, and there's 5 and 6. So 6 orcs dead of mortal wounds, and the custom force field won't save them from that one. So that's pretty good. Plague winding. Right, so we tried 2 static powers of typhus and they both fail. We tried to get these plague marines up to toughness 6, doesn't happen, but hopefully they'll be tough enough to withstand this. We've played a really aggressive tactic here, trying to go forward into the orcs. We may regret it, but we're coming away with some victory points here. Alright, the 10-man orc unit that jumped onto this objective, being whittled down to the knob, and he's on his last wound. We fired the this unit first. Didn't hit very well, but the blight launchers did pretty well. Rattle firing plasma gun from the rhinos just got them right down to 1. Even with a fetid blow drone contributing, he's on his last wound. So we're going to try and get first blood. Because these ran, it's only the champion who can fire with his shotgun at a -1. So he's hitting on 5s and he's missed, so he's not going to get that first blood for us unless we charge in with the blow drone. We're going to fire the big unit of plague marines now. We're going to fire them at this 10-man unit. We're still going to try and get some units away from the orcs here if we can. If we shoot well, might even be first blood. So to help us with this, we're going to play Veterans of the Long War stratagem. Just means we've got a +1 to our wound dice, which turns bolters effectively almost into heavy bolters. So we've got 5 bolters in that squad, and because we can rapid fire at 18-inch range as part of the Death Guard's traits, we're going to get rapid firing shots out of here. So we've got 5 of them rapid firing, and we are within range of the Demon Prince, going to get us to reroll 1s as well. So we will reroll 1 of them. We'll miss with 2. That's pretty good shooting from the Death Guard. 4s to wound, and then we get a +1 to the dice roll. So not very good for wounding, but that 3 turns into a 4 because of Veterans of the Long War. So a bit of a wasted stratagem there, but 3 wounds on the orcs, and they need to save on custom force field of 5. And the mate 1 failed 2, so 2 orcs down. We've got a plasma gun. Can rapid fire with that range. Reroll 1s because of the Demon Prince. Still gets a 1. Yeah, 6 will do. So 7 on invulnerable 5 again. And fails. So there's another orc dead. Right, so I've actually finished the shooting phase now. The Land Raider and the sentry gun fired at the lead flyer in the corner there and missed. Every single one. All 8 las cannons missed. And then the anti-infantry fire from the Land Raider, the heavy bolter, and the Havoc launcher did very well. This unit has now only got 3 left. Not enough to get first blood. We're going to have to bank it all on the blow drone going in on that knob, I think. So we will see what charges are like. We're going to measure some charge ranges and see what the plan of attack is. We've done all the charging. We tried a long charge of the Demon Prince on these, and don't make it, obviously, it's too long. But this unit goes in. We get a short-ish charge to make it in, but we use a command reroll to try and get in deeper, and that works. So we've gone through our command points here, but it's worth it in the end. We've got all of our plague bearers fighting, and we're going to get +1 strength because we're still within 6 of the Herald. And then the blood drone, he goes in against that single orc, and he's going to try and pick up first blood. So this unit is a shooter unit that they've went in on. It's not a one with choppers, so hopefully we can handle this. And we're still 20 strong. We didn't lose any in the Overwatch, and that's big because it means the orcs are at a -1 to hit them. Also, it's very worth noting that heroic intervention from the Big Mech and heroic intervention from the Weird Boy, so they're going to get their fight in as well. Right, here we go, the big dust up. We've got 21 attacks with the Plague Bearers, including the Plague Ridden. His attacks in there. So we're hitting on 4s, and then we'll see. So 4s, not great. Not great at all. That's probably just under half there. But we're wounding on 4s normally, but because we get a +1 strength to the Herald, we're needing 3s. And we get to re-roll this because we've got Plague Swords. That is very good wounding. Reroll these. Oh, 3 fails. Right, 5 wounds in the end, so not as great as we thought it was going to be, but if only we got the Demon Prince there, he could have got reroll 1s to hit as well, because he's a demon. So 5 wounds, 7 on 6s. and 1 save, so 4 dead. That's pretty grim. I wanted better than that, but that's what we get. The Orks going to swing back with some vengeance here. Right. So before the Orks start to fight, we're going to do the last charger here. 3 attacks from the blow drone, hitting on 4s, he gets them all. What a star. Wound on 3s, and he gets all of them as well. So it's AP -2. He's just straight dead. So that is going to secure us first blood. That is so crucial. So crucial. We're going to come away with more points. Right, so after all the Ork casualties here, they're coming away with, there's 11 Orks, so that's 22 attacks. So just doing the basic attacks first. So hitting on 3s normally, but because we're 20 strong, needing 4s really. So surrounded by a cloud of flies and just like Orks. Just
living up
not bothered about that whatsoever.
We don't care.
So, well, if only the demons could roll like that. Well, there's a lot of hits, so wounding on 5s now.
And again,
sorry, wounding on 4s because Orks are toughness 4 these days.
Wow.
And that's a cock die if you want to roll that one again. And of course, converts. So 3 so far. Oh, well, it's not too bad. Only 5. We'll get we'll get a demon save first against that. And we don't get a single one. Disgustingly resilient, come on, save us. No, 5. That was awful. Now here comes the Ork power claw, he's got 3 attacks, he needs 5s. Misses them all, but still there's a weird boy to fight now. And there's also a mega knob in there on his bike. So who's fighting here?
So this one's the weird boy?
It's the weird boy, right. So he's needing 4s. No, sorry, he's needing 3s, but he's still hit with those 3. And he's needing 3s to wound now because of his staff.
Okay.
No, not 1.
Needs 3s to wound?
Yeah. Right, using the command roll to re-roll one of those failed wounds and gets it. Right, so saving on demon save of 5, we get it. So, right, it's pretty important that weapon. It's D3 damage. He's killed Deathwatch Artemis before with it, but not a demon. So just a big mech to fight now. He's just got basic weapon and he gets 2 hits. He's needing 3s to wound. Gets 2, right. Demon saves. No. Disgustingly resilient. Come on. Oh yes, we get 2 of them. So 5 dead in total. We lost that combat by
1.
By 2 because the Orks lost 3, demons lost 5. Is that a good trade-off? I don't know. We're going to have to see how this turns out in the long run, but, you know, demons, certainly brave. So we're doing leadership now. We've removed the casualties. Orks, although they lost 3, they just, oh no, they lost 4 this turn, but still, because they're surrounded by boys, they take the leadership of a mob around them, so there's mobs of 30. So the leadership 30, which is impossible to crack, is ridiculous for leadership of the Orks. Demons, not so much. We lost 5, only leadership 7. So we've rolled a 4 plus 5 is 9. So we've lost 2. Right, so the fight's over, the leadership's over. We're going to see what points we've got. We've got Master of the Warp, and we've scored 2 points for that one. And then we've got First Blood, so there's 3 points for the Death Guard that turn. So the output may be not so damaging as we want it to be, but the points are definitely coming in. If we can just sustain this, the Death Guard will be on a roll, but the Orks are now where they want to be, in combat and chopping some gits up. Right, the Green Tide advances in Ork turn 2. The pain boys on each wing, they're just starting to enter the fight now. They're just getting where the sort of second wave of attack's going to be, so they're in reserve just about, as is this squad over here, so expect big things from them when the game matures a little bit. But at the moment, the Vanguard Ork attack, it's just a massive fight for your life in the centre for these plague bearers. There's just too many attacks there. The Orks, even a 10-man squad, have too many attacks, so this is just beyond a joke now. There's the entire Ork force in there. I'm not sure how many Orks are amongst that massive Green Tide, but I can tell you it's not good. Especially when you don't have any proper guns to shoot them with. It's just all going to be done by hand here. This is an objective that the Orks now need to defend, so they're probably going to hold that at the end of the turn unless we do something special. So the Orks are just flooding over that objective now. And the flyers, they fly from over here, overhead. They're going to start to harass the Death Guard in the back. So probably it's going to be the softer unit, the Plague Bearers, the Plague Marines, I imagine, but we'll have to wait and see. Right, so the Orks are going to start shooting now. It's going to be airplanes at this unit here. So off you go, 18 shots at the Death Guard. So hitting on 4s because all weapons are targeting that squad. So that looks just under half there. So these are toughness 5, so strength 6 needing 3s to wound. And all wound bar 1. Saving on 4s. That's half decent. Only fail 3 there, and then disgustingly resilient on top of that. And we'll make 1. So 2 Plague Marines have died. So next flyer doing the same thing. And again, it's another good round of hits. There's 9 hits, 3s again on these Plague Marines. Oh, it's another good roll. So only 2 fail. Just getting hammered here. 4s to save. And it's another good roll for armor saves. Disgustingly resilient. No, so there's another Plague Marine dead. Only 4 left now, and there's another plane to fire. Is that what's going to happen? Yep, so this again. And it's another good round of shooting. 9 hits again, 3s to wound. Right, not so good this time, only 3.
Use command reroll on the fire.
So command reroll, no, doesn't convert. Right, so 4s again to save. No, disgustingly resilient. Oh, just 1 dies. Alright, shooting phase complete for the Orks. Pistols are done at this blood drone, but he saves them all. Proves to be too tough. And Poxwalker goes down over here from some shots from the boys there. Pretty annoyed with myself. I meant to play the Cloud of Flies stratagem on this squad last turn. Forgot to do that, and that would have saved us from the flyers, because if you play that stratagem, they're trapped like characters and you can't target them if they are not the nearest unit. So paid daily for that. So we've only got 3 left, and really wincing on this morale check when we have to take it. But we're going on to the Ork charge phase, and this is where they're going to shine. Right, so charges are complete for the Orks. So the squad back here that was looked after by the Pain Boys left him. Wrapped around. They did lose some in the Overwatch, but Mad Dog did save a couple. This big unit is attacking the Plague Bearers and the Blood Drone. That's probably going to get torn out the sky. Every boy with the chopper is going to have 2 attacks with profile, extra attack for a chopper, and then an extra attack because of the extra attack because they're more than 20 strong, and then +1 to hit because of the Waaagh banner. Basically, hitting on 2s with 1 billion attacks. It's just going to be a wrecking machine here. Loads more boys join this fight, and the charge these 2 characters and wrap around the back of these Plague Bearers. There's just fights everywhere and anywhere. It's just going to be horrible. There's far too many dice to be rolled, so we're just definitely not going to do this on camera, because we'll just be here till next week. Right, so the fight is complete, and it took forever. There's so many attacks. So the Plague Bearers have gone as predicted. The Herald's gone. Demon Prince doesn't take any wounds, and he kills 4 back. And then this has taken 6 wounds and kills 1 Ork in return. So it's been a tough old fight, and the Death Guard are now suffering a slow demise as the Orks roll over the army. It's looking grim, but still ahead on points, but we'll get a feeling the Orks will just roll us all up here. Right, so the Plague Marines, they've got leadership of 8, and we've lost 4 out of that unit. So 4 plus 5 is 9, so we've lost an extra Plague Marine, which is really hard to bear. So we only got ourselves to blame in the end for that one, for not playing that stratagem. So it really hurt. So more bolt guns that we don't have much of at all. We're only down to a couple now. Okay, so that's the end of the Ork turn. Our fate might be sealed at this point, but we do score a point in this turn because we've defended objective 3 for an extra turn now, so we're still getting the points coming through. So we might be well ahead on points, but we're losing people. So nothing short of a table in at this point would stop the Death Guard. We're going to have to see what we'll get in next turn. Okay, so we're into Death Guard turn 3, and we've got tactical objectives that are not going to benefit us. Defend objective 6, which is there. Area denial, there's no way we're getting rid of all those orcs in the centre of the board. But we've got Death Begets Life, which basically means if you kill 7 models and then keep on killing in units of 7, you get points. So if you kill 7, you get a point. If you kill 14, you get a point, and so on. So we're going to try and kill as much as we can. We're going to stay aggressive and just try and make a game of it, because we're going to get squashed if not. Right, we've done our psychic phase as well. We also did the stratagem for these units. Cloud of Flies, it's the one that we should have played on the unit that got hammered in the centre. So they now can't be targeted unless they are the nearest unit. Blades of Purification was played on this unit for the psychic phase. Just means they're going to get a +1 to hit, and they get to do some sly mortal wounds. They would have loved that to have been the 7-man squad. That's what we're waiting all game to do, but we're going to try it with just the 2-man unit. And then we've got psychic powers, Miasma of Pestilence on these as well. And then Typhus, he did Gift of Contagion on all of this unit. That stretches all the way around here. These have now got a -1 attack, so that's pretty handy. Alright, different turn here in the shooting phase. I thought it was going to be minimal, but it's actually turned out to be pretty good. Finally, we shoot down a flyer after, what was it, 3 rounds of 8 last cannon shots. We finally shot down a flyer. So that was 1 model gone. And then here there was the big unit, and they just got absolutely hammered. We played Cloud of Flies at the start of the turn, so they're now harder to hit. But we did play Veterans of the Long War, which gave them the +1 to wound dice roll. Did prove to be the difference. We've killed just about them all, and then the Plague Drone finished them off. Even the Cultist shot well, and the Rhino. We've killed all of that unit and some of the ones in black. So because of this tactical objective, it's really extreme. It's for every 7 you kill, you get a point, and I've already killed 3 lots of 7, so that's 3 points so far for just that card. And we haven't even entered into the assault phase, where surely we could kill another 7. So that's where we're going now. We're going to go straight into the assault phase. We've got all these figures ready to go in. Even Typhus and the Pox Waters, they're ready to go around the corner and try and get some easy kills. We're maybe getting hammered. We've lost a lot of elite units, but we're raking in the points here, it seems. Right, so I've got all these characters in combat now, and the Pox Waters do make their charge. Typhus cannot charge because he did advance. So we're ready to roll up our sleeves and take it to the Orks once more. This is probably the last hurrah before the body of the Orks comes in, but if we can do well here, there may be no return. Okay, so that's the assault phase done, and the Pox Waters did well, killed off those Orks, killed 3 of them, did very well, and the Sorcerer was killed with a Power Claw just behind the wall there. Didn't see him, and he's dispatched with the Sorcerer. So they did that with the counter-offensive. We attacked with these Plague Marines first, then he struck with the Power Claw, didn't see him behind the wall there, killed him, and then he does nothing, and then the Demon Prince kills just enough to make it an extra 7. So that gives us 4 points, because we've got 4 lots of 7 Orks killed there, which is mammoth. That card, it is Death Begets Life Supreme for the Death Guard. So with that in mind, and because it is so late now, we've started the game so late, the Orks are going to concede. It seems like the Orks could just take it to the Death Guard and wipe them out, but the objectives are just too far now. The Orks have only got 1 point, whereas the Death Guard now have got 12. So it's just not coming in for the Orks for the cards. They could have done well. They've been everywhere on all 4 of these objectives. They tried to contest the 2 in the middle, but they just didn't come up for either side really. The Orks did score that one. I think that was their actual only point, but it just didn't happen for the backfield ones for the Orks. But it's just so late now. It's in the dead of night basically. We're going to have to call it there, but I think that was a pretty decisive victory from the Death Guard, points wise, but on the board got really bashed in by the Orks. So there we go. Debut from the Death Guard. It was ropey. We got there in the end. Could have played it better if we just get used to these stratagems with the new ones, and we'll have to see what the Orks bring if they get a codex soon. I'm sure they'll have their stratagems ready to go, but even without the stratagems, I believe the Orks are a frightening force. All of the attacks in the centre here, just absolutely eye-watering amount of attacks, especially when you've got the Waaagh banner and squads of 30, it's just insane. And so there we go, Golgoth, the Typhus stand-in, leads his force to another victory, and next time we'll be seeing Mortarion, no doubt. He's halfway built, ready to finish him off, so let's get him painted in record time and get him leading this Death Guard force. We need someone to just cleave into all these Orks and just mow them down, and he's got the scythe to do it. As they all say, like wheat before the scythe. Let's see if he can do it when he turns up.